Hello there, back at the allotment, and on a much sort of cooler, sort of more overcast day than it has been of late here. If you've watched any of the other videos, you'll see I literally seem to start with the same thing of it's a hot, warm day, and certainly not that today. Still fine for sort of t-shirt weather, but you know, sort of much cooler. Just started spotting with rain as well, so hopefully that will help everything grow a little bit. But of course I'm here today for the Allotment Dram, and the one I've picked today is very special, just been released actually, and is the Ardbeg Blaaack Ardbeg Day Edition. So as you'll see there, it's got like 3 A's in it, so black technically, and it's named as such because Ardbeg has long been regarded as, it's an Islay distillery, and it's long been regarded as a sort of black sheep of the family of the Islay distilleries. You know, they kind of break tradition. They're very innovative, and yeah, so this was released just last Saturday for what would have been Ardbeg Day, traditionally the last day of the Islay festival, and of course that didn't happen this year, you know, for reasons we all know, but they've released it anyway. Earlier in the year, sort of back in March, they released a cask strength version of this, which they always do, always gets lots of people clambering for it. Normally breaks their website, actually, from past experience. And this was bottled, it's always bottled at the cask strength, which this year was just over 50. And so what we've got here with the Ardbeg Blaaack, both editions actually have been matured in ex-Pinot Noir red wine casks from New Zealand, that have been sourced from New Zealand, and this is been sort of hand selected by Bill Lumsden, who is he's the creative force behind the whiskey making at Moët Hennessy, who are the owners of Ardbeg, and also Glenmorangie, you know, another very famous brand that they own as well with Scotch whisky. So he went out to New Zealand and sourced these Pinot Noir red wine casks, and the whiskey's been maturing in there. So really the only difference between the two whiskies is that it's one's cask strength and one isn't. This is the general release one is 46%. So let's have a little taste. I've got it here. I managed to dig out a special Ardbeg sort of glass as well, a little mini one, which seemed appropriate. So let's have a smell. Yeah, you've got obviously Ardbeg, very well known for its sort of peaty, sort of earthy style, you know, as many of the Islay whiskies are. You've got that straight away in a sort of, you know, creosote, that stuff that you paint on a fence. You've got a little bit of sort of seaweed, ash, almost like damp moss, something like that. But underneath there's like a sweetness, sort of honey, vanilla, almost golden syrup type sweetness. Let's have a little taste. So you've got obviously that smoke, and the smoke, there's no hiding place from that. Smoke is there, it's quite punchy, and I seem to remember it being even more punchy on the cask strength version, of course, but still pretty punchy there. It's got a lovely sort of like green chilli, some white pepper, but then all these sort of earthy notes. You've got again this sort of damp earth, moss, bit of ashiness, almost like a charcoal thing, and a bit of these sort of iodine, sort of surgical bandage, you know, which, you know, sounds a weird description, but a lot of people always use that for describing these big smoky whiskies. So let's have another taste. Yeah. And underneath, there's a lot of sweetness. There's a lot of this sort of honey, golden syrup that I spoke about before, but there's also some delicious dried fruits. This is traditional, was like sultana, almost like you normally get from a sherry cask, but then there's something a bit deeper than that. It's like dried cranberries, or like stewed fruits, like sort of prunes, plums, that type of thing. Really, really delicious. And just the level of sweetness and that heavy smokiness really works well in tandem. So yeah, I think they've done a fabulous job with that actually. So I hope you get to sort of search one of those out. It should be available, sort of to a wider audience. The cask strength one, as I say, was just available to committee members. So yeah, this is just for the wider audience. So I hope if you like your big smoky whiskies, and with slightly quirkier sort of cask involvement, then certainly search this out. And yeah, until next time, wish you well, keep safe everyone. Cheers.